So next most important topic is inheritance. You will use this topic in the automation framework designing widely. Not only here, in many topics, this concept is used. And what is this inheritance? Inherit. What is meant by inherit in English? Any words from you? What is inherit?
Pass the properties from parent to child. I understand.
Okay.
Like I understand. Like
Good. You're good. That's the right. Same applies here also. Inherit means parent properties child can use. Again, child doesn't need to create a properties, his own properties, and so he can use. That also he can do, but parent properties he can use without creating again, right? So that is inherit. Here also, inheritance happens between two classes, not in one class. And child class acquires all the properties and methods of the parent class by using extends keyword. EXTENDS, extends keyword you have to use between the two classes, so that all the parent class properties you don't need to create in the child class. Directly you can use. That is called inheritance. What is the inheritance means? Child class acquires all the properties and methods, all the properties and methods directly without creating them in the child class. You already created in the parent class. And you can use them in the child class directly. If you need those methods in the child class, you can use that directly. You don't need to create again in the child class. That means it is going to avoid the duplication, one point. And another thing is you can use this inheritance concept in the runtime polymorphism concept. So in the runtime polymorphism concept also you can use this. That means, so inheritance happens between the two classes and it maintains a parent-child relationship. Is a relationship it will be maintained. And the class which inherits the properties of other is known as a subclass. Which class is taking the parent class properties? That class is called subclass, derived class, or child class. These are the three names. Remember, which class is inheriting the properties from other class, and that class is called derived class or subclass or child class. And the class whose properties are inherited is known as a superclass or base class or parent class, we call that. This is the base class, means whose properties are inherited is known as a superclass or base class or parent class. And how you can do this inheritance? Child class extends parent class. So you have to use extends keyword. Extends is the keyword used to inherit the properties of a class. Sorry?
No.
Okay. So class super. So you create a class and all the properties and methods you declared in this superclass. Now I need all these methods and properties in my child class. So what you can do, you can immediately apply inheritance. Apply inheritance means subclass extends superclass. So whatever the methods and properties you declared in the superclass, you don't need to write again here. You can just call them. Then it is avoiding duplicate code, right? You're just calling them. That is called inheritance. Now the extends left side, whatever is there, that is called child class. The extends right side, whatever is there, that is called parent class or super class or base class, we call them. This is the derived class or child class or subclass we call. So this is the keyword will give a privilege to this child class to use all the properties of this parent. That's why, so inheritance happens between the two classes, not in one class. You should have one parent, then child. Child can use all the parent class properties and methods. Properties means the data variables. Methods, you know. So all the methods you can use in the child class. So that is the inheritance. Advantage of inheritance is reusability of the code. Means you can avoid the duplicate code. You don't need to write the same code again and again in the child class. To achieve runtime polymorphism or method overriding. Don't confuse. Yesterday constructor overloading we have seen. This is method overriding that we'll see next in the polymorphism topic. To achieve runtime polymorphism or method overriding, we are going to use this inheritance. Without inheritance, this is not possible. Method overriding is not possible. So there I'll explain you again inheritance one more time. You must use the inheritance first, then only polymorphism is possible. Otherwise, runtime polymorphism is not possible, or method overriding is not possible without inheritance, because that method overriding happens between two classes and you have to inherit. So that's the advantages of inheritance. Then what are the different types of inheritances? So there are various types of inheritances we have. So observe this single inheritance, first category. Single inheritance means one class extends to another class. So see, public class A and public class B extends to A. See, class B extends to A. Now here B is the child class, A is the parent class. Now that means B can access all A class methods and properties directly. So B doesn't need to create them again. That's the single inheritance. One class extends to another class is called single inheritance. Next, multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance means public class A and another class, public class B extends to A and public class C extends to B. That means B can access A class methods and properties. Now C class can access B class methods and also A class methods also. That means, so just assume that the family structure, grandfather, father and child. So this child can access father properties and grandfather properties also. But this C belongs to, C is a son, C is a member for this B. So B is a parent for C and B is so child of A. Now what will happen? This C child can access B properties and also A properties. How it is possible? B already extended to A. Now again you are extending B to C. That's why C can access multiple levels. That is called multi-level inheritance. So this concept is applied in our Selenium. So in the weight objects are there, weight classes are there. So weight is one interface is there, and there are implicit weight and explicit weight, WebDriver weight class, and also fluent weight class is there. So all this WebDriver weight is the child class, extends fluent weight class and implements weight interface. So that level is called multi-level inheritance. Multiple levels, so that this class can access. So this is what we can call them, all the multi-level inheritance we call that. So I'll show you all this practically, don't worry. So understand theory first and it is easy for you while implementing. hierarchical inheritance. That means one parent can be accessed by multiple childs. You got it? One parent properties can be used by multiple childs. That is legally possible, right? So if in the family 2 kids are there and the parent properties are equally shared, are used by 2 kids. Same here also. So a class A and class B extends to A, class C extends to A. So that means same parent can be extended to multiple child classes. So that's this hierarchical inheritance. This is called hierarchical inheritance. Last one, multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java at all. Why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java in case of class? The reason is, to make the design very simple, they are not supporting multiple inheritance. Second reason why they are not supporting multiple inheritance. To avoid the confusion, they are not supporting multiple inheritance. These are the 2 reasons why they are not supporting multiple inheritance in case of class. In case of class, why they are not supporting is because of this only. And what is multiple inheritance? First, you need to understand that concept. Multiple inheritance means one class extends multiple classes, like this. Now class A, class B is there. Now class C extends A comma B. This is not supported. See, everywhere only one class is extending. Everywhere one class only extending. Only one class you can extend to other class, but not one class extends 2 classes, 3 classes, 4 classes. Not possible. Yes, there is a confusion, and also that's the. But let me give you more clarity on multiple inheritance. Suppose you have A, B, C, 3 classes. In A class, you have methods M1, M2, M3. And the C class, B class also you have M1, M2, same method names are there. Maybe logic you can write it differently. Now if you extend, so now class C extends A comma B. Now compiler will get confusion, or you are calling M1 method. Now compiler will get a confusion. M1 has to pick from A or B because both classes it is there. That confusion is going to arrive. That is the reason they are not supporting at all multiple inheritance in case of class. The other place it will support multiple inheritance, that is in case of inheritance. I'll tell that. Okay, is clear?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now so we have a parent class, child classes. I have in the parent class some static, non-static members, all are there. Okay, you inherited. Now how can you access static members? How can you access non-static members of parent class? So this is the question. So you're understanding my question? You have a 2 classes. One is the parent class, one is child class. In the parent class, you have a static members and non-static members. Static members means static variables or static methods, both. Okay. And in the parent class also, you have some parent class related methods, static methods or static variables. Then how can you access parent class static variables in the child class if you apply the inheritance?
Extension.
Please, sir. Extends we can use. You can directly.
That is done, madam. That is done. Okay, extends is done. Then how can you access in the child class? Because other class members I am calling here, right?
Import.
Other class static methods I am calling here, right? Same package.
Import.
Why you need import? If it is other package, you will do import.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So don't worry, I'll tell you that. So here are the answers for all these questions. How to call parent class static members in the child class? Understand the question. How to call parent class static members in the child class. Directly you can call static method name or static variable name. You don't need to refer class name. Generally, if you don't apply inheritance, you have to refer a class name, right? Class name dot static method, class name dot static variable. If you're classing the class, that's how to call the static members, right? Generally, without assume that without inheritance, there is no inheritance. How can you call one class static members in another class?
Class name dot.
Class name dot static method, class name dot static variable. But here, if you apply the inheritance, you don't need to refer class name. You can call directly the static method name and the static variable name. That's the answer for that question. This is the implement. If you understand this, the implementation is straightforward. So anybody having doubt on this question and question and answer. Now I'm moving to non-static variables and non-static methods. Okay, how can you access parent class non-static variable, non-static methods in the child class? See that. Carefully understand these points. If we create an object for parent class in inheritance process inside the child class main method, you cannot access child class non-static members with that object reference. Then how can you access with a single object both parent and child class non-static members? So always in the inheritance process, to access parent and child class properties and methods, create object for child class only. No need to create object for parent class. Then with that child class object, you can access parent class non-static members, child class non-static members also. Both you can access with a single object. That's the process. And in the inheritance process, only you have to create object for child class only to call non-static members of both classes. With a single object, you can call both classes non-static variables and non-static methods. These are the two important points we need, right? So that's it, all the theory part. So shall we go to the programs?
Yes,
Theory, anybody having questions?
No, Ramesh.
Okay, let's move on to first. I'm taking one employee class. So employee is the main parent, my parent class. Okay, so let's take an employee class. What are all the employee properties will be there? So what are all the employee? I don't want main method because I'm just creating a template, parent class and all with all the properties. So what are all the properties will be there for employee? String, EMP name, employee name,
Employee ID.
Employee ID, right? EMP ID. Next,
Employee
private
salary.
salary, double salary, right? EMP sal. So then private static string EMP, so company name, right? So why I made static? Others are non-static. Why you made a static company name? Common. It's a common to all the employees. It's a common property. That's why you have to make that variable as a static. Very simple. In the beginning basics, these are all. Okay. Then now I want to create a setter and getter methods for this. So let's create. How can you create this? Select all the variables, right click, source, generate, getters and setters. Select all and generate. See that all setters and getters I have generated. So let me put all the variables in the bottom side, the top, below the class, above the methods. I'll keep them. So to make it order. Okay. Now set EMP name string EMP name, this dot EMP name equal to EMP name. So when you call this method, you will give some value, right? Employee name. That employee name you are assigning to instance variable. That is this instance variable. This dot EMP name means instance variable, right? That's why we are using this. And then get EMP name, you are getting the employee name with a getter method. So this private you made, so nobody can call these variables because of private. In the methods inside you are using these variables. So to set the TMP name and get the TMP. So set TMP ID, get TMP ID. Set TMP salary, get TMP salary. So now here, set company name, but I am not using this keyword. So what I told, this keyword is not applicable for the static context. Remember that. Then how can you call this class static variable with that class, right? Class name dot the static variable, class variable equal to local parameter. So this parameter. So if you assign this parameter to static variable like this, employee dot company name. If the confusion comes with the class name, you refer the static variables, class name dot company name. Any questions here? As I told you, always static belongs to class. Static variables belong to class. Non-static belongs to non-static variable members belongs to which area? Static belongs to class.
Object.
Non-static belongs to
People.
object.
Object.
So non-static belongs to object. Non-static belongs to object. Remember that point, guys. Static belongs to class. Non-static belongs to object. Keep that point in mind or note down somewhere. And these are very, very important in the coming classes also. That's why I always refer static with class name. Non-static, I always refer with object. Okay. So these are the things. I want to create a few more methods. One more static method I'll create. I want to send a notification after my after sending the crediting the salary to the employees. I want to send a notification. So I'll create a method, protected. See, protected method I'm creating, static. So void send a notification. These are common to all the people. That's why I'm writing in the parent class. So I'll write from which class this is coming. So started employee class. So send notification method. Just one print statement is enough. And then so another one. So I'm writing. So I'll just send a message. Salary is deposited into your accounts. Some notification I want to send it. Okay. So this is the one method I created. And I'll create one more method, private method. So can you access private members in another class? Can you access another class, this private members? Can you access?
No.
No, sir.
Even if you apply inheritance also, it's not possible. It's not possible. Even if you apply inheritance also, private members not possible to access. That's why I'm creating a public, private, and protected methods also. I want to show you the accessibility again here one more time. Started executing the employee class get access method. Okay. So I'll tell here swipe the right access card to get into the office. Okay, so that's a simple statements we have created, but forget about what is there inside the body. So for us is this is the one. Private is there, protected method is there, public methods are there. Now these are common for every employees. Now this is my parent class. Now I want to create another employee. Suppose I'll create a manager class. Manager is an employee. Is it maintaining the user relationship? So remember, inheritance means always parent-child relationship, right? The child belongs to the parent. Now, manager is an employee. So manager is the child, employee is the parent. So manager is part of employee, right? Manager is one kind of employee only. So that's why I'm creating a manager class. So let's create a manager class. A new class I'm creating, manager class. And I'll take the main method also because I want to execute something, right? But so I will extend now all the manager class methods and employee class methods I want to use here. I want to give a manager name, manager ID, manager salary, manager. So company, I want to get it. How can I get all of them? So let's already available in this class, already available here, already available in the method formats. So I can use here, right, directly. How can you use it directly? By doing extends employee. Now all the properties of employee can be used by manager without any issues. He has a privilege to use. Once you do extends keyword, and manager has a privilege to use all the employee class properties and methods. Okay, can I write some methods in this manager class? Of course you can write. Only manager related methods you can write if you want. Manager specific methods you can write. So that I'm going to do now. Manager specific methods I'm going to write. So I want to give a bonus for this guy. Private bonus, maybe I'll give a double bonus. Now I want to pass this bonus value. How can you pass this bonus value? It is a private. If I want to call this bonus in another place, then how can you call? So one way is through setter and getter methods, right? This is the instance variable. One way is through setters and getters. What is the other way? What is the other way to pass the values for this bonus?
Constructor lo we can call it kada.
That's the right answer. But which constructor, Swati?
Public.
No.
Parameterized
What are the constructors?
Parameterized constructor. Same class but parameterized. Yeah.
What you are reading, and you have to read again and listen the videos. These are the points important. Yesterday I told you very clearly. One way to pass your instance variable value through setter methods. Another way to pass your instance variable value through parameterized constructor. Now I'm going to create a parameterized constructor for this bonus value I want to pass. So public, so manager, and so double bonus. So this dot bonus equal to bonus. Why both the parameter value and parameter name and instance variable name is same? That's why I'm using this dot bonus. If both are different, you don't need this keyword. So same, that's why you are passing. Now, how can I get this bonus value? I want to call it somewhere, and in this, how can I get that? Because this is a private, and another place I want to use this bonus. How can you do that? So create a getter method. That is public method. Public. So double get bonus. Getter method I'm creating. So return bonus. This is the one. So I can create a setter method, but I'm not creating setter method. I'm passing this bonus value through parameterized constructor. This is the parameterized constructor. So I told you yesterday this point, very important. Parameterized constructor. So with what I told you, your class name, a constructor name is same. Again repeating the same points again and again. Please catch these things. And now I can pass this instance variable value with this constructor, and I can access that value even other methods, other places also. With the get bonus method I can call, and I can use that value anywhere. So okay, done. I want to create a one static method, one non-static method. Okay, so just one simple static method and non-static method I'll create. So protected static, so void. So what is the manager responsibilities? What manager will do? So manager is managing the team and assigning the tasks and attending the status calls. These are all the manager responsibilities, right? So I'll just write simple the behaviors of manager. Behaviors I can represent with methods only. That's why I'm using methods concept to represent his behaviors. So protected static void manage team, right? Manage team. So that's his responsibility. Okay, I'm writing one simple static method. So manager class static method manage team. Okay, so this is, so what he will do, I'm telling, so assign the tasks to team members and make it done. Okay, so these are the things I'm just telling, simple method we created. We just want some static methods. Okay, I created. Now I'm creating one more non-static method. I want to show you parent and child class static methods. How can you call? Parent and child class non-static members, how to call? So this is the concepts you need to get much clarity. So that's why I'm creating this, all this static methods and non-static methods. Okay, we have already non-static method. I'll create one more non-static method, public. So void attend status call. So he will attend status call in the managed meetings, right? So in the high level meetings. So that I'm representing here with the other method. Simple, you can say non-static method, and then represent that method. Okay, so what he will do in the status call, he will give you the status of the project, whether it can go ahead for release or not, and all these things he will do, right? So just I will do that things, just mention that. So provide project status, good to go, right? So this is the complete status. So these are the methods we created. Now I want to call them. The first part, static methods, I'll focus mainly. Static methods I'll focus. Okay. So so what is the process? How to call parent class and child class static methods? You can call directly. That's what I told you. So this class static method, how can you call? First I'm calling child class static methods. So what is the child class static methods here? What is the child class? Manage team is the static method, and I can call directly, right? So we call. See that you can. So this is the common, right? So same class static method you can call in the main method directly. So that executed. Now let's call parent class static method. So what are the parent class static methods? We have so the set company name is there, send notification is there. So I'll call this send notification, employee class static, employee class static. Directly you can call, no need of any class name dot thing. Okay, you don't need to refer. Even set company name, I can represent directly. So I don't need to do anything. So see that I can represent directly. These two are coming from employee class. Did I use class name dot static method? No. So why you don't need to do that? If you have an inheritance concept, you don't need to do that. So it is easy, right? So complexity is reduced. That's the advantage. Are you clear on how to call static members in the inheritance process? Directly, you can call child and parent class static members without referring a class name. Clear?
Yes, sir.
రమేష్ గారు మీరు ఇక్కడ చైల్డ్ దానికి మీరు ఎక్స్టెండ్ తీసుకున్నారు కదా, దెన్ మీరు ఇక్కడ మేనేజ్ టీమ్ ఎంప్లాయీని చైల్డ్ గా మీరు అంటున్నారు, ఎక్స్టెండ్ తీసుకొని ఎంప్లాయీ ఇస్ ద చైల్డ్ అని చెప్పి ఇచ్చారు కదా ఏకి మేనేజర్.
No, madam. Employee is the parent. That's what I'm saying. Extend left side, whatever is there, that is called child class. That is manager is the child. Manager is an employee, madam. Now employee is the parent class. Employee is the parent class. Extends right side is there, that is the parent class. Whatever extends after, that's a parent class. Extends before, whatever is there, that is a child class. Now who is accessing this employee class methods? Manager is accessing. That's why manager is the child. So, right, manager is accessing. Manager also will get a send notification, right? He will also get notification because he also gets salary, and he will get this notification. That's why I am calling that method. Where this method is created in the employee class, but I'm able to call directly here. So that's what inheritance. Otherwise, you have to use class name dot static method, right? If you don't apply inheritance, how can you call one class static method in another class? You have to call class name dot static method, but I'm not representing class name dot static method here. I'm calling directly. How is it possible? Because of this inheritance. In the inheritance process, all the static members you can call directly from parent class. No need to refer class name. Are you all clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Andy.
Yes,
Now
sir.
I'm going for the non-static members. Non-static members. So non-static members, generally, if you want to access, what you need to do?
Create object.
Create object. So let me create object for parent class. We'll see that. And then I'll show you the difference. Why you need to create always for object for child class. Why you should not create object for parent class. So I will create object for parent class now. What will happen? You see that. Okay. Whether I can access both class objects with this employee object or not, we'll see. Okay. Parent class. So I'll create object for a parent class. Employee emp object equal to new employee. Okay, I created object for parent class. Now, can I access with this object this child class non-static methods? You cannot access. You can. I'll show you here. Just put a dot. It will list out all the methods, right? Which are all the methods you can call. See that. Get employee ID, get employee name, get emp salary, set emp ID, set emp name, set all setter methods, but send notification. These are the static methods you should not use with object. But this method is not there. Attend status call is not there. Why? With this object, parent class object, you can access only parent class methods, not child class objects. Then how can I do that? See that if I call this method here, it's not there in that object memory address. It is clearly showing error. The method attend status call is undefined for the type employee. It is looking for that. This method is not there in that object. That's why you always create object to call both parent and child class non-static methods. Create object only for child class. Then with that object, you can access both parent and child class non-static methods. Okay. So let me show you that. So I commented out this part. Now what is the child class here? Manager.
Employee.
Employee. Again, why are you confusing, madam?
Manager, sorry.
Employee
Sorry.
is the parent and manager is the
manager.
child. Manager is the child. So create object for child class. That is, so manager to call both parent and child class non-static members. If you get these points, and it's going to be very, very easy for you, the coding. So m object equal to new manager. So what is the mistake here? Why it is throwing error? Why it is throwing error?
Argument
Read the error.
that we need to pass.
Okay, good. So Govardhan. Manager as a parameterized constructor. But what we are passing, which constructor we are calling here? Which constructor is the what type of constructor we are calling here?
Default constructor.
Default. But manager has a parameterized constructor. But we are not passing that. That's why it is complaining error. So I'm going to pass now argument. Now I'm calling the parameterized constructor here. Okay, that's come. So this is the advantage with a parameterized constructor. You can pass your own values whenever you're creating object for this class. Now, see that. Now I can call child class method. So now I can call set employee ID. From where it is coming, set employee ID?
Parent class.
So I'm calling employee parent class non-static
Class.
methods. I'm calling. So here I called child with the same object. I called child class non-static method. With the same object, I am calling parent class non-static methods also. That's the single object is enough to call parent and child class objects. Okay, so I'm just giving. So this, what is the other one? Set MP salary. See that all the employee class methods you are calling. You didn't create these methods here, right? But still you are calling. How is it possible? Because of
Inheritance concept.
Because of inheritance concept, that is possible. See that I called all through setter methods. I'm setting that ID value, name value, and salary value through setter methods. Variables you cannot call because of private, but through methods that variable values you are setting by setter methods. That's what the setter method. I'm printing the manager details. Okay, how can you get the manager name? You set, but how can you get it?
Object
Of get MP name. Getter methods I'm calling now. This is how all the getters and setters you are going to use. And you're tightly security you're giving for your data. For each object, data you can store separately. Nobody knows what data where it is storing also. And other people data you cannot see that. That's the thing how you can do that. This is the logic how people will write in the real time, right? This is all the coding will happen. So setters and getters. See, now you are getting again in the inheritance encapsulation also you are using. So in many classes you can prepare like that. Get MP sal. So I want to give a bonus. Manager bonus is m object dot get bonus. Get bonus method is another non-static method, but it is in the child class here. So I'm calling that with object only you have to call, right? So with a single object, you are calling both parent and child class non-static methods. You don't need a object of each class. You're saving the memory here. With a single object, you are calling parent and child class non-static methods. I hope you are clear now how to call in the inheritance process. Static members how to call, non-static members how to call. Please catch that difference, and it's very, very easy. Manager belongs to, so which company belongs to? I'm just why I called directly. So I'm not using object for this method. Why?
Static.
It's the same.
It's a static method. It's a static method. That's why I'm not using object. Not a string Swati. It's a static method. Static method means you don't need to refer object. Okay. So this is the how to call, and you can execute these things, right? So all the data you are getting. See that you called the, so this manager class non-static method, and see employee class static method, employee child class static method you called. So this is how, and you cannot access this private thing. This private get access you cannot call. If you try to access, what will happen? You see that it will throw an error. M object dot, so it will say clearly it's not visible. From the type employee is not visible. Not visible means that has a private. Clearly you can understand immediately. Is not visible means some permission issue. Okay, so private is not accessible in another class. That's we learned from the beginning itself. The private is going to stop access. Done. Next, this is called inheritance. Single inheritance. This one class extends to another class. Single inheritance. One type is done. So next, multi-level inheritance. Let me show you. Create another class. So I'll create here programmer class. So take the main method, because I want to call all the program methods and the employee and manager class methods also here. I'll extend here manager. I'm not extending employee here. So please catch that. Now, if manager, one more important point is coming here. If manager as a parameterized constructor, if you extend that parent class to child class, the constructor will come automatically. You don't need to define that logic again here in the child class. See that. Add constructor programmer double here. So implicit super constructor manager is undefined for a default constructor, must define an explicit constructor here. So I'm defining that. See that. So I can give bonus for this programmer also with that manager logic. See that I didn't define this, right? But here extra keyword is coming, super keyword. So what is this super keyword? This keyword you know. Now, what are the three advantages of this keyword? Okay, invoking another constructor in one constructor. Okay, good. 2 points are good. Next.
Method.
Hmm?
We can invoke methods. One method.
You can invoke methods. Super. One method you can invoke in another method with this keyword. In the default, it will call implicitly. It will call this. If you call directly without this also, implicitly this will be called there. This dot non-static method. You want to do that, and this you are going to do, right? Any questions here? Okay. No. So I'll create. Super is quite opposite to that. This is current class objects it will refer. Now super will refer immediate parent class objects. What is immediate parent for a programmer? Manager. So all manager class objects it will refer by super keyword. So that's why I'm calling super keyword also same as this keyword. Three advantages are there. Now super keyword will refer parent class instance variable. First advantage. Second advantage, you can invoke a parent class constructor in the child class with the super keyword. See that. I'm invoking parent class constructor logic here. I'm calling here parent class logic. See, I just called with the super, the bonus variable. Super means you're invoking parent class. You're invoking parent class constructor in child class. That logic you want here, you can call with the super keyword. This is the constructor calling process, right? Super parenthesis you are putting. Parameter is there. That's why parameter name you are passing to super. That's a parameterized constructor, right? This is the parameterized constructor. That's why I'm passing that here. So the bonus. Super is representing here, invoking the parent class constructor in the child class constructor. This is the child class constructor. Anybody having doubt here? Super is used to refer immediate parent class objects. Objects means what are all the objects? Non-static methods and non-static variables. So now constructor also comes under objects only, right? I'm invoking the constructor in the child class constructor with the super keyword. Again, you don't need to write that logic here. So that's how we are reusing with the super keyword. Parent class constructor logic you are calling here. How you are calling? With the super keyword you are calling. And other advantage I'll tell you later. As of now, understand super is another reference variable which refers to immediate parent class objects. Now this keyword also reference variable, but which refers current class objects only. That's the difference between this and super. Please understand that points. Now, okay, programmer, what he will do. So I'll write some static method for a programmer. Okay, let me write one static method. I will write public static. So void. So what programmer will do? He will design the application, right? So implement. So design or implement the application. So that is one his responsibility, his behavior. So programmer class static method design app. So design applications. Okay, so that one thing we did. Now another one is, and write one more statement. Let's write using some programming language. So write the logic to design application. So I'll just put to design app. I'll put, okay. That's the one static method we create. I'll create another non-static method. Protected void fix bugs is responsibility, right? Fixing bugs also is responsibility. Will you agree with me?
Yes,
Fix
sir.
bugs is responsibility. Non-static method. Fix bugs. Fixing bug is responsibility. Developer response. Okay. Let's maximize. You can see easily the entire code. Fix the high priority bugs first. High priority bugs first. That's one. And who has idea on the manual testing? This is good. Okay. Otherwise, don't forget about that. Just concentrate on the static and non-static methods. Okay. Now we need to call. See that this programmer is the child of manager. Manager is the child of employee. Sorry. So now programmer can access manager class methods, employee class methods also. Different levels he is accessing. Now all static methods you can call directly. So let's see that. Call static methods of programmer. Okay, programmer static. What is a programmer static method? Design application is the one. Okay, now call manager class static. So what is a manager class static method? Manage a team, right? Manage team. So this is the static method. Now call employee class. See how I am calling all static methods? Directly you are calling. You are not representing anything. Directly you can call. Now see what is that? Send notification, right? Control space for you press, right little bit and control space for you press and it will show in the panel. Then see that automatically control space for right little bit and you will get automatically the method name control space for if you press. I'm just giving so like this. Okay, these are all coming from employee class. This is coming from manager. This is from child class, same child class. So how I called directly, I called these things. See that I'm executing those code, right? All these are, see that programmer, then manager, and then employee class. All three levels this programmer is able to access. Now, okay, static you access, but what about non-static? So what you need to do? Non-static methods. So what you need to do? Create object for which class? Programmer is the child. So programmer class. So programmer p object equal to new programmer. Is this correct? It's showing very clearly error. Why it is throwing error?
Parameter is
Parameterized.
Parameter is missing.
Double
Parameter
is
is missing. We have to give parameter. So I have given the parameter. Now it is success. That's how you understand the points. If that class has a parameterized constructor, so you have to pass this value while creating object, because constructor value will pass in the same line. This is the constructor. Parameterized constructor you are calling here. See that you can pass your own values. Now I can call p object. So this class methods I can call. See manager class method it is called. Okay, no problem. Call. And this is fix bugs, right? This is the programmer class non-static method. And this is so manager class non-static method. Now employee class non-static method I will call. P object set employee ID. See one more level is accessing, programmer is able to. I need to give programmer name, all those things, right? So now I'm giving and P object dot any other things are there. I'll give a bonus for this guy. All our setter methods are done. I'll give a bonus for this guy. So get bonus. But this is the return type method, right? Return type method I can print directly. Programmer bonus is. See that I can call directly in the print statement the return type methods. So I can call. So maybe I'll do here programmer details. Okay, programmer details, and I can say programmer ID is p object dot getter method, get employee ID. So we'll reduce time because we don't have time much. So let's call these things. Programmer name. So get MP name. Programmer salary. So how you are calling all these things? Just catch these things. So all the with object, single object, you are able to call get MP sal. And programmer belongs to which company? We called all the program belongs to. So I don't need object here. I can call directly get company name. That's it. So this is all how you can access. So let me call this also, and yeah, this is fine. See, you are setting the values for each object differently. So with the setter methods, you are setting, even with the constructor also you are setting. See that this programmer bonus also here through parameterized constructor. These two are very, very important concept. Okay, so that's the multi-level inheritance. Multiple levels, see this guy able to access, right? That's why this is called multi-level inheritance. Okay, that's all, and few more are there. Next class we'll cover those things. Any questions?